All right, welcome back to the AVP League Qualifier, Huntington. This is the second qualifier of the series. We have Lexy Denaburg and Julia Scoles on the far side, and Madison Shields and Macy Jerger on the close side here. Starting off in their first game of today, I'm Corinne Quiggle. I will be commentating for you today, and Lexy is back to serve. Oh, and an ace in the middle to start for Lexy. Beautiful start. They are the third seed in this tournament. They came in 2 weeks ago in the last tournament as the 1 seed. Fighting again for a spot in the league. Beautiful vision by Lexy there. I like the control. So on the side of Lexy and Julia, they are a very physical team. They're a very dominating team, both blockers in the past, now split blocking. And on this side with Macy and Madison, we have a really talented defensive team. Madison is a really good defender. She knows how to handle those hard hits. So we should have a pretty good matchup here. Nice vision by Madison. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that from her, especially when the blocker stays. Just a little too much movement from Madison Shields. We have our switch here. Lexy and Julia doing a really good job staying close together. The wind and the rain finally just stopped, I think. We hope for the rest of the day, but the sun is now breaking out. So they might not have to run as close of a game as we had in the set right before. Julia back to serve with a nice topspin. Oh, and the stabby dig. Oh, and just missing it long. I really love that timing of Julia on her defense there. They ran a 4 in transition. That is a play that we'll probably see a lot from them. People expecting 2 used to be blockers, now split blockers, to run more straight up, maybe not be able to run down the high lines as well. So mixing in those 4s are really important. And a 4 is when the blocker is showing line and diving into the angle and the defender making a late move into the line. Finding the spots. It's Madison Shields back to serve. A good dig by Macy after pulling off the net. Finding control here. Lexy putting Julia well in system there, and Julia able to take a rip. Nice, beautiful in system. In the last qualifier, Macy and Madison upset Deanna Kraft and Sophie Bukovic in the first round. A really solid game from them. And especially in this format, truly anything can happen. It's a race to 15. I mean, we always say in a game to 15, anything can happen, and especially if you're going point for point. Macy back to serve, 4 serving 6. And a nice shot by Madison Shields there. I think she is really, really good with that blocker up, sort of creating space for her to go to, and I think she has really good vision to find that space. Lexy with the short line over, right back. We'll see, it seems like Macy and Madison are keeping both Julia and Lexy a little bit more in the middle, serving them in the middle of the court, maybe trying to shorten their approaches. A good touch by Lexy. Nice scramble, and Madison is able to find the sand right over Julia. Again, she is kind of feeling for that blocker and aiming to go over the blocker there. And with Lexy on the move, it's so hard to change directions. Nice dig by Madison. And again, a nice high line shot there. Tying them up at 7-all. Again, two big plays here. Anything can happen. Bringing Julia out of the middle, and Macy Jerger for the block. Beautiful lineup there. Able to get in front of her. Again, if you tuned in before, we had a lot of wind and a lot of rain, and now it is shaping up to be a beautiful day. The wind has definitely died down. I was going to mention Madison Shields is a phenomenal player in the wind, but that might not be as big of a factor now. This is still in the first round of the bracket here. The winner of this match will play the winner that is going on of the game on court 2, which is Chloe Lorene and Maureen Kinna versus Zolani Hodel and Tegan Van Guntz. Also going to be a battle over there. Madison back to serve, up 8-7. And a good touch by Macy there, and a nice ball by Maddie. Oh, and then another block by Macy. Again, this team of Julia and Lexy are big hitters. They like to hit. They're able to move the ball around, but Macy is doing a great job lining up, and Maddie is patrolling anything that gets past her. Really solid defense from them. Nice set back in rhythm. Just misses wide. 10-7 for Madison Shields and Macy Jerger taking it to the timeout. Yeah, and with that wind dying down, we're able to see the players go a little bit more back to their normal play, and I think what we're going to see out of this timeout is Julia and Lexy starting to hopefully push their passes forward a little bit more, but then move the ball around. You know, use their athleticism, taking more balls on 2, shooting the balls wide. I think that's kind of going to be their talk in this timeout. Madison and Macy kind of keeping their focus on what they've been doing. They've been point scoring with their defense very well right now, keeping their serves nice and deep. Madison Shields back at the service line. Keeping Julia in the middle, and a shot down the line for Julia gets them out of that. I think Julia too is a very strong server, especially with her top spin, so she might try to use that here. When that ball goes just wide to keep Julia and Lexy in there by 1. Nice serve, bringing Macy out wide. And a block by Lexy. Nice execution there. All tied up on the switch. Julia at the service line, staying on Macy. And Macy gets out of it with a nice line shot. Again, Macy might have a more similar game like Lexy and Julia, a little bit more physical, so I like that line shot out of her, especially when she's getting under pressure. Macy with the serve. Running a 4 here. Madison's all over it. Oh, and I love that fake. She held her hand there for so long. Julia just so ready to move anywhere but behind her. Really beautiful execution by Madison Shields there. A fellow PEP alumni. Macy Jerger from FSU. Nice lift. And again, another shot by Madison Shields. Again, her shooting game is working really, really well against this team. I wouldn't be surprised to see them starting to shoot, maybe starting to run some fours to try to dig some of those balls. But again, staying stopped is the best. Back to Lexy. And Lexy going with some heat out of that wide set. Beautiful swing. Macy with a beautiful pass. Ready on that 4. And that ball's down for the switch, 12-13. Julia and Lexy doing a really good job, even though they're chasing. They're staying very composed. Just trying to find solutions here.
See if you can bend it. See if you can bend it.
Ball to Macy, keeping the pressure on her. Oh, and a good call and a good touch. Oh. Good job by Julia to get out there. Just Macy using her hands. Out a little late. And they have the first set point here for Madison and Macy. And I think this is their favorite setup. Madison back at the service line. Macy able to be set at the net. ready for the physicality of this other team of Julia and Lexy. Madison's all over it and goes deep again to take the set. Really great composure by Madison Shields and Macy Jerger in this first set. Really well done. I think Maddie Shields herself is doing a really good job showing that she's going to hit somewhere and going someplace else. And I think that's really, really great for a great tactic against this team. Julia and Lexi, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a little bit more physicality. They want to assert themselves. They are a very, very physical team. And I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more of that in this second set. Again, Julia and Lexi, the 3rd seed here. Macy and Madison, the 14th seed. But really going to show anything can happen in these games to 15. All of these teams are so solid. All of these teams from 1 to 16 are very, very talented teams. And so it's incredible that this lineup, you have to win it in this tournament. The winner goes on to have their spot in the league. But every single one of these games matters for points because there will be at least one spot left that gets delegated out on points after the Hermosa Beach Open, May 10th and the 11th. All right, Madison back to serve again to start set 2. And it comes out with an ace in the middle. Again, Madison is feeling very comfortable back there at the service line, very comfortable on defense. And they're making a lot of plays. They're coming up with a lot of digs. Beautiful serve out to the sideline. She's all over that, into the net. Putting that ball deep. And a nice ball by Julia there, too. Lexi back to serve with the float. Macy going with power in the swing. Lexi is ready for that deep ball. Wow, and just tags it for Julia, sending it over on 1 off of that cut shot. Had great precision. I like to see this response by Julia and Lexi. Again, Lexi back to serve early in this second set, and this is a must-win set if they want to continue on in this tournament. It is single elimination, 16-team draw, and Lexi absolutely wants to continue on. Beautiful swing. Lexi and Julia definitely finding their game here, feeling like themselves. That looks a lot more like them, being super aggressive, setting each other comfortably. Keeping the ball on Macy here. And Macy with a beautiful shot over the line to switch 2-3. Macy back to serve on the switch. And Lexy taking that on too. That is such a weapon for that team. Both of them have great options on the on-two ball. They have such wide windows that they're able to get their feet to the ball and hit. Julia with the top spin. Lexy's all over it. Beautiful two plays there by Julia and Lexy. They definitely want to stop the momentum here now. Madison and Macy trying to slow them down. Oh, and an ace in the middle for Julia, making it 6-2. Julia starting to find her serve back here. Again, a beautiful shot by Madison over the block. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lexy and Julia starting to pull on her even when she gets a little tighter, because she's just doing such a good job of going over the block. And a nice shot by Lexy, making the switch at 7-3. This is a great response by Julia and Lexy. Lexy back to serve, sticking with her float, but keeping the ball on Macy. Oh, and a good hustle, but Macy and Madison end up taking that one. Again, I really like Julia and Lexy switching up those calls, running some ones, running some fours, you know, trying to fake Macy and trying to bait her into shooting what they want her to shoot, or swinging into what they want her to swing. Running behind for the, oh, and a net by Macy, but a really, really good play by Madison and Macy. That was a good chance to point score there. And a good dig by Julia. And a beautiful set and a nice up by Madison. Lexy and Julia just really taking care of the ball here, showing their experience that they're able to respond back in this second set after losing the first set like that. Just making adjustments, settling into their game. Really good play. Just out wide. Madison just trying to do a little bit more than she needs to. They call the timeout 1 point before the tech. Again, this is the second AVP League qualifier. So there was one 2 weeks ago. The winner of that earned their spot directly into the league. That was my partner and I, Megan Rice, and me, Corinne Quiggle, for the women. And for the guys, it was Hagen Smith and Logan Weber. This will be the second one to earn their spot, and then the third chance will be Huntington Beach Open, May 10th and 11th. And because there will be one more spot other than the winner, that will go down to points, how teams did in these best 2 out of 3 finishes points-wise out of these tournaments, out of these 3 tournaments in Huntington. Julia back to serve, feeling very comfortable in this match. Good touch there. Now the switch and back to the tech. Again, in these sets to 15, some positions can feel a little bit better than others. Being up 10-5 is a fairly comfortable position, but even the 9-6 switch is a little dicey. Anything can happen because people are a little bit more aggressive with their serves. I think in these games to 15, people are definitely, point scoring is so important. And if you get 2 points, if you're able to get 1 ace, then the pressure immediately goes to the other team that's receiving. And it's just a different level of intensity and a different level of, urgency that you're needing to earn points right away. Madison Shields back to serve. Oh, and some conversation there because the net was moving. But the rule there is that if you contact the net outside of the antenna, it's legal and it doesn't count as a part of the net. So you are able to touch it. Julia pushing Macy deep with that serve, and Macy really taking care of that high line shot. Kind of like a cutty over her. Again, this 5-point deficit might be a little hard to overcome in this set, but they definitely want to earn momentum to take it into that third set. Beautiful dig. Lexy's there. Madison pushing Lexy deep. Lexy putting it short in front of Madison. That was beautiful defensive plays there. Nice rally from everyone. There's a little bit of a side wind here, picking up, coming off the ocean. Julia back with her topspin. And the deep pokey goes down for Madison Shields, bringing them to 7-12 and 1 to switch. Just missing long. (13-7) on the switch here. Again, Madison and Macy working to find their rhythm. It feels like Lexy and Julia have found their game in this set. Found the way that they want to play, especially going into a third set. Throwing one on Madison, and she sneaks it by Julia. Again, Madison's vision has allowed her to be very terminal on offense. Keeping Julia in the middle, running behind. And a nice swing and a nice dig over. They get another chance at it. Great ball by Lexy to bring them to 1 point. 14-8. They just need one to take it to the third. Will they get it here? And, oh, I think it just goes barely out. A really nice lineup by Lexy there, but just landing outside, so Madison back to serve. And an ace for Madison, finding some points at the end of the game here. Madison there with the touch. And that takes them to the third. Julia and Lexy take this second set. Macy and Madison finding a little bit more on the rhythm. We'll see who can start off fastest. Again, in a set to 15, anything can happen. You definitely want to start off well because it is do or die here in this third set. Win and you stay on, lose and you go home. Again, the start of this third set is going to be so important. It is not easy to be chasing in a third. You want that freedom, you want that space to be ahead so that you're able to feel a little bit more free. Maybe you're going for your serves more. And on court two, we're absolutely having a battle. Chloe and Marine now up 11-8 to possibly take it to 3 over there. So Lonnie and Tegan on court two won the first. All right, starting back, we have Lexy back to serve. She keep it on Macy. Macy with the pokey, and Julia there, but not able to control that ball. Really nice turn by Julia, though. Madison back to serve. And a nice swing by Julia. Again, I'd like to see if Julia sticks with her topspin serve. I feel like she was having some success, at least putting the other team a little out of system. Maddie with a controlled pass. And a beautiful tool off the block. Brings them to 2-1. Again, this game likely going point for point, but if any team is able to break ahead, it means so much, especially with the pressure of this third set. Macy back to Julia in the middle. Stays this time, gets a touch. But Julia with the point. Back to Macy. Oh, and a nice ball there. I like that choice to stay by Julia. She's all over, especially with Macy. I think they're doing a good job putting pressure on Macy when they stay. But again, for Madison, it might be, I feel like she's finding a lot of solutions when they stay. So we'll see what they start doing here. But one to side out. Nice serve to Julia, bringing her out wide. Madison with a comfortable dig. Short ball, beautiful execution. Great set by Macy there. Running the back. Oh, and just misses. Arguing for the touch. Oh, and Macy calling it on herself. Hoping for the good karma there. I don't know, that's what refs are for. It is 3 serving 4. I honestly didn't see the touch, but hooking her a little inside. Nice touch by Julia. Really good control and just falling in the middle there to tie it up at 4s. Madison running behind and finding the cut shot. Beautiful shot again. Madison has been very terminal on offense so far. Macy at the service line and running up. Good middle serve. Julia's doing a great job to put them back in rhythm. Oh, Macy in the net. Good rally there, great chances. Both teams here getting a lot of touches on defense and a lot of chances to turn them. Little things going either way. Little net touches here. Good balls on both sides. And a missed serve. It's a huge break for them. You could start feeling Lexy and Julia possibly getting momentum there. Madison back to serve. Julia with the top. Little off. Oh, and tagging the line. Julia keeping it on Macy. Madison taking on 2. Little tight ball. Oh, but she's there. Again, Julia and Lexy, I'm starting to feel the momentum turning their way. Now up 8-6. Topspin back, putting it on Maddie. And she finds it. No, it's just wide. 9-6 and the tech. Again, we were talking about it last 2 weekends ago, saying that 9-6 is a switch that you usually feel very comfortable on, but in this game and in this third set, it's not something that you can be comfortable on. It's like something that you really want to use to your advantage. But again, 9-6, anything can happen. One service run, one good side out. I mean, these things happen really fast in these games to 15. Checking in on court 2 as well. They are in the third. Score is 3-1 for Tegan and Zolani. The winner of that will play the winner of this match here happening. Julia back to serve here. The big point. Macy back to serve. Oh wow, sneaking it through just beside the arms of Macy Jerger is Julia. Again, this field is so competitive. There's third sets going on a lot of courts right now. And in the first round of the bracket too, that's so impressive. Great move by Julia. She's feeling very comfortable at the net there. And a timeout called by Macy and Madison. Good to take it now. Definitely the momentum is moving with Julia and Lexy right now. Trying to break that and find the comfortability for Macy and Madison. After this game, we will go back to the boys. We will have Kame Schock and James Shaw playing against Tim Brewster and Ryan Ayerna. Wow, just missing long. Macy dodging that ball for the point. Madison back to serve and 1 to switch. Nice controlled dig. And good listen by Julia to put it over the block in the angle and take that 12-8 switch. I'll say a 12-8 switch feels a lot different than 11-9. Julia back with her top spin serve here. Oh, and just missing it. Wow, nice touch, but a beautiful short pokey by Lexy there. Yeah, that was Lexy. Again, finding the open spot around Macy's block on that tight set. Another missed serve. We're really letting Macy and Madison off the hook here. Nice high line shot by Julia. Brings them to match point, 14-10. Nice read by Madison. And a swing by Julia to finish it. Beautiful set. I really love to see how Julia and Lexy were able to bring that game back into their control. You know, they started out a little slow, and Macy and Madison started out really, really well. I mean, just a fantastic defensive game from them. So great teams here. I mean, what a great start to the tournament for the women's side here. And Lexy and Julia will be continuing on facing the winners on court 2 that are still going on if you want to head over there. But thank you for tuning in. I'm Corinne Quiggle, and I will see you guys soon.